She thinks she's hiding because she's under an angel's duster like a child clinging to a motorcycle. But when she peeks out, she's standing on the edge of a supernova. And Bob, custodian of creation, pulls out duct tape like it's standard issue heaven. Which is how Hannah learns the universe can tear, and the fix might sound like bees. This is Chapter 8 of The Trouble with Angels, the custodian of creation fixing the universe one tear at a time. If you want to keep binge reading Bob and Hannah's adventure right now, start at Chapter 1, link in show notes, or our Season 1 hub, link in show notes. And if you know someone who loves space as a workplace, cosmic repair jobs, tiny magical robot storms, angels complaining about bureaucracy, and duct tape fixes reality energy, share this episode with them. Previously, on The Trouble with Angels, Hannah's grief cracked her life wide open, and a heavenly custodian named Bob showed up with an assignment instead of comfort. Heaven has paperwork, procedures, and a deeply alarming relationship with official channels. Hannah is learning fast. The universe is gorgeous, dangerous, and occasionally held together by sheer audacity. And now Bob takes her somewhere breathtaking, because sometimes the leak is in the stars. The Custodian of Creation, Fixing the Universe One Tear at a Time by Glory Fink. Hannah, you can come out now, Bob announced. I was underneath Bob's duster coat with my arms wrapped around his waist like you might do riding on a motorcycle. Bob said we were heading out to a repair job in a supernova, which seemed too fantastical to imagine. I carefully crab-walked around Bob while staying under his coat until we were belly to belly. I looked up at Bob and asked him, "Is it safe?" Bob contemplated for a moment and tilted his head slowly side to side. "Safe is subjective. I've prepared the area so you can breathe and walk around. It'll feel like you're standing on a boat at sea or perhaps a water-filled mattress." That's when I immediately peeked down at my feet to see what the surface I was standing on looked like. Y'all, it looked just like what a supernova is supposed to look like. We were on the edge of a slowly exploding star, but there appeared to be a translucent film that gently undulated under our feet. I turned around under the coat and unbuttoned it so I could walk around. I stepped out a few paces and looked around. Bob got to work on a tear behind where he was standing. I watched him make a sort of splint using the roll of duct tape Pierre had given him to pull the tear back together, and then Bob used the eraser on his pencil to seal the tear entirely. "Bob, why did Pierre give you that roll of duct tape? Is it forbidden to use or something?" "Oh, it's not forbidden. In fact, the Almighty gave me my first set of all the tools I use. Well, most of them. The bureaucracy in heaven is a bit wacky. I suppose they've struggled to cope with the Lord's absence, and sometimes it's just easier to get my consumables from Pierre and their family than petition the Silver City." Bob responded, "I let my mind meditate on this new knowledge while my eyes feasted on the interdimensional majestic beauty we were within. To me, it looked like if Lisa Frank had started working at NASA. The only thing missing was rainbow dolphins or unicorns prancing through space." "So, Bob, are there tears regularly occurring, or is this tear due to the star exploding?" Microtears happen fairly regularly. Our universe isn't quite as elastic as it would ideally need to be, so these tears sometimes occur when there's a little too much force in one direction and not quite enough slack from the other side. And also, this is not a young universe. It's perhaps more prone to tears than it used to be. Atrophy is a force of nature, after all. That seems like a lot of work. Is it difficult keeping up? Well, it used to keep me fairly busy until I created my nano golems. Now they do most of the repair work. I just like to do the jobs like this when it happens in such a spacious place because of beauty, and it helps me feel like I'm still fulfilling my original purpose and not simply relying on delegation. Also, I enjoy being in this beautiful place and hanging out with my nanos. This gave me a pause. Bob, what's a nano golem? Is it a tiny robot meeting us here? Bob smiled back at me and gestured around. The nanos are all around us, Hannah. Nanos, please greet Hannah. Suddenly, a million tiny little lights started blinking and sparkling in various slow patterns, and I realized the nanos had formed a bubble for us to breathe and walk around inside this dangerous, to my tender flesh anyway, supernova. Bob waved his hand around in the middle of the air, and a softball-sized sphere of glowing nanos with a comet trail followed his hand movements. Wow! That is so cool! Bob bowed with some of the nanos still in the sphere and said, Hannah, may I introduce you to my nanos? Nanos, this is Hannah. I'm helping Hannah on her current adventure. Hello, nanos. It's a pleasure to meet you. Hello, Hannah. I was so surprised I gasped. Whoa! Was that the nanos? They sound like bees buzzing. Bob nodded and released the sphere of nanos, who just dispersed back into the bubble shell. They don't get many opportunities to show off, so I thought you wouldn't mind. Oh, I love your babies. They're amazing, I gushed to Bob, and he beamed back at me. I could tell he was happy. I love them like he does. Then Bob told me this story. When the Creator was done creating Gabriel, Michael, and Lucifer, the angels quickly realized that while they all had very important jobs, like running the universe, they were also very good at making messes. But no one was good at cleaning up those messes. So that little band of archangels went to the Most Eternal One and asked for there to be created an angel who could clean up any mess in the universe. So the Most Glorious One made me, the first custodial angel, and named me Bob. I guess the Lord had already used up all the fancy names. Then, when the Omnipotent One told me about why I was made, I asked about equipment to clean and to let them know that whatever I deemed that I needed, it would be created just for me and the beings I chose to train to assist me. On my first day, and remember back then, the first day lasted a few thousand of your modern years, I asked for and was given a pencil with a big eraser, sticky paper that will stick or stay on anything I command it to, a bucket and mop, a broom, a dustbin, a strong cleaner, a gentle cleanser, absorbent towels, protective safety gear, and clothing, warning cones, and signs, and a rubbish bin, but the Almighty gave me a very obedient and friendly tiny black hole instead. Later, Gabriel gave me a special key that will open all locks in the universe, so that I didn't have to keep asking for help when a mess developed in one of the labs or workshops. This story got me wondering, Bob, with you being the first and looks like main angel in charge of cleaning up, have you ever felt burned out? Do you get vacation days? Bob paused and considered this, and then told me, since I've always been in charge of cleaning and repair, I have the freedom to work at my own pace that suits me. So I have plenty of opportunities to enjoy the beauty and pleasures of creation, as you might have noticed from our journeys together thus far. Also, I'm very familiar with my purpose and can see constantly how important what I do is in order to keep this universe habitable for all its life forms. But there is a place on Earth where those struggling with loss of purpose, sensations similar to human burnout or grief over missing the all-healing one. I can take you there if you'd like to visit it. I got so excited. Yes, please. Take me to where the suffering, afflicted angels go. Hashem can wait. Bob laughed at my response and then said, well, by now you know the drill. Get behind me under my coat. Hold on to my waist so you don't get lost. Dear readers, this is exactly what I did. Next time, on The Trouble with Angels, Michael parks an Eldorado Cadillac in the Germantown part of Memphis, Tennessee, because apparently the Archangels have decided to crash a wedding like it's a sacred duty. Gabriel doesn't want to go in, which makes Michael even more determined to go in. They hit the bar for props, start collecting cousins like Pokemon, And then Michael does what Michael does. He bribes the DJ with charisma and cash, dances like he's flipping a cosmic breaker switch, and suddenly, the whole room starts moving like joy itself just got authorized. There's a special strawberry lager. There are aunties policing the buffet line. There's a venue manager named Harold who gets spiritually adopted, maybe against his will. And outside, a truly baffling logistics miracle involving grills, strangers, and a suspicious amount of meat. But while everyone else is celebrating, the angelic siblings are circling something serious. And by the end of the night, the party isn't the only thing that shifts. You've been listening to The Trouble with Angels by Glory Fink. If you're feeling overwhelmed or unsafe, please don't white-knuckle it alone. Reach out and let someone be with you in it. If you're in the U.S. or Canada, you can call or text 988 for the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. In the UK and ROI, Samaritans are available at 116123. In Australia, Lifeline is 131114. And if you're in immediate danger, please call your local emergency number. If you would like to help keep this story finding its people, you can tap the heart button, engagement is magic, leave a comment, Bob will try to file it properly, but the nanos are already buzzing and turning into a laminated safety notice. Toss a coin in the coffee fund, divine contributions always welcome on Ko-fi, Venmo, and Cash App, links in show notes. The Trouble with Angels at Glorious Magazine, link in show notes. You can also check out our Coffee Bunny Crafters Cafe, link in show notes, and you can find me, Glory Fink, as @GloryWritesTheBlues on social media, Blue Sky, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, TikTok, and Threads. Mind the cosmic paperwork, drink some water, and if reality springs a leak, don't panic, Bob's got duct tape. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in Chapter 9. Goodbye!